And finally for us this half hour, typically snowmobilers love the cold temperatures and even the snow that we've got on the way because the trails are solid enough to ride on. But there's one big problem. There's just not enough snow, and a lack of riders is bad news for businesses along the trail system. 2 on Your Side's Heather Lee talked with owners who are dealing with a rough start to the snowmobile season.
It's never a great sign for snowmobilers when you can see the field
sticking up
through the thin blanket of snow on what's supposed to be the trail.
That's not good for the snow business.
Ken Service and Sales is a third-generation business that banks on, well, snowbanks. It sits right next to a snowmobile trail on Clinton in Elma, a trail that has been empty so far this winter. The more snow, the better the riding and the better the sales. Snowmobile pre-orders were good last year after a good riding season, but with trails closed now, they don't make money on all of the other things.
And when you don't have a season, you don't have people out wrecking machines, having accidents, using oil, wearing out carbides, the stuff that you use while you are riding. It's just, if you're not riding, you don't need that stuff.
Vice President Matt Kelklin says his family has seen their fair share of crummy winters during their decades in business, but this one is adding insult to injury because the 2 huge storms in November and December came during hunting season before the trails could open.
You look at all this snow and realistically the way we got it this year, it was just really, it hurt business. It shut business down.
And none of the snow stuck around long enough for snowmobilers to take advantage. When trails are open and the riding is good, this lot at Burncliffe in Wyoming County is full of sleds and trailers.
We can open the doors at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, and by 11 o'clock, noon, there's 150 snowmobiles out front. The restaurant's packed.
The New York State Snowmobile Association estimates snowmobiling has an $868 million impact across the state each year. But right now, the lack of riding means a lack of customers. The restaurant at Burncliffe is open just a few days a week.
Despite the lack of winter recreation right now, we're still open. We're just kind of limited right now on operations due to the weather, but we're crossing our fingers that hopefully February will be a little better.
Over at Ken's, they say sales of parts are down 48% from this time last year, but they're also doing quotes for fire departments and emergency services coordinators who showed an interest in buying snowmobiles and UTVs following the December blizzard. So that could help with boosting revenue this season. But for those of us who ride, we're just keeping our fingers crossed for snow in the coming weeks to try and salvage the season. Michael, back over to you.